Hello children and welcome to our geography session. Today we will be having lesson number 6, major landforms of the earth. So in this lesson we are going to see the three types of landforms, that is mountains, plateaus and plains. We are going to see different types of mountains, how are they formed, then we are going to see the advantages of mountains, then we are going to learn about plateaus, what are plateaus, then what are the advantages of plateaus, and again we are going to see the plains and what are the advantages of the plains and how are these formed, how are mountains formed, how are these plateaus and plains are formed. So let us begin with our lesson, major landforms of the earth. Children, as we know that the surface of the earth is not same everywhere, right? Somewhere it is rugged and somewhere it is flat. So these landforms are the results of two processes. Okay children, why the surface is somewhere it is rugged and somewhere it is flat? This is because of two processes, that is the internal process and the external process. In the ground, okay, of the earth, there is always a continuous movement, children. There is a continuous movement that is going on, and on that this results in the formation of different types of landforms. Means why we get different types of landforms? That is because of the continuous movement of the earth in the ground. Okay. So now this happens because of two processes, that is the internal process and the external process. Now what do you mean by internal process? Internal process means the process that is continuous process that goes on inside the ground, okay, inside the ground or inside the surface of the earth. This leads to the upliftment and sinking of the earth's surface at several places. So internal process means within a earth a continuous movement is taking place, okay. The first or the internal process, this leads to the upliftment of the earth and sinking of the earth's surface at several places. Means why the earth's surface sinks or why somewhere it is uplifted. So it is because of the internal process where continuous movement in the ground it goes on, a continuous movement goes on in the ground of the earth. Now second one is external process. External process means the process that takes on the surface of the earth, okay, not inside the surface of the earth. This external process it takes on the surface of the earth. Here continuous wearing down and rebuilding of the land surface. Means external process it occurs due to the continuous wearing down and again rebuilding of the land surface. Now what do you mean by wearing down? So this wearing down means taking away of the earth's surface is called erosion. Means this wearing away of the earth's surface is called erosion. Means taking the dust or taking the materials away from the earth's surface from one place to another is called erosion. And again the surface is lowered by the process of erosion and it is rebuilt by deposition. Means from one place it is taking away the surface is lowered, it is taking away the materials or whatever dust, whatever things. So it is lowering one place and that place is, we call it as erosion, and again that things they are rebuilding on another place, and that is called as deposition. Means and these two processes they are carried out by running water or it may be wind or may be ice. You must have observed when there is a wind, okay, when the wind occurs, then what happens with that wind? All the dust particles, soils, leaves, trees, leaves of the trees, with all these materials, they are moved away, right? They are moved away with the wind, and they are. So this movement is called erosion. So here the wind it is taking this all these things from one place, and again it is then these things are deposited or on the another place. So this another place where they are deposited is called as deposition. And so the agents who carry all such things may be wind or it may be due to water, running water also, and also due to ice. So this wearing away of the earth's surface is called erosion. Means the taking away of earth's surface materials from one place to another by wind, water, ice is called as erosion. And again when this is rebuilt, or when these materials are deposited in on another place, that we will call it as deposition. So, these two processes are carried by running water, ice and wind. So, the surface of earth is not same. Why? Because of two continuous process, okay, that takes place on the earth. That is, first one is internal process, it takes inside the surface of the earth, which leads to the sinking, okay, sinking of the earth surface. And again second one is external process, that is taking away the materials from the earth surface from one place to another by erosion or or by deposition, which are carried by the running water, ice and wind. So, this is what we have seen in this two types of process. Now, next we will see. Now, what do you mean by mountains? Okay. Children, there are, okay, broadly we can group the different landforms depending upon the elevation and slope. The landforms are divided into mountains, plateaus and plains. Okay. Elevation means height, okay, going up, altitude. So, on the basis of height or elevation, and again on the basis of slope, these landforms, they are divided into mountains, plateaus and plains. So, now we will see about mountains. Okay. What is a mountain? Mountain, it is a natural elevation, okay, it is not a man made, it is a natural that occurs from years to, that takes that occurs from year, it takes years to become a mountain. Okay. Mountains are not just formed, it takes so many years to form a mountain. So, this mountain, it is a natural elevation of the earth surface. Okay. Earth surface is flat or somewhere it is rugged. So, these mountains, they are the natural elevation of the earth surface. In some mountains, there are permanently frozen rivers of ice called glaciers. So, in some mountains there are glaciers. Okay. These mountains may be arranged in a line known as range. So, what do you mean by range? So, mountains that are arranged in line, they are called as ranges. They are arranged in a parallel lines which are known as range. Like for example, the Himalayas, the Alps, the Andes are the ranges of Europe, South America and Asia. So, again we will see what is mountain. Mountain is a natural elevation of earth surface. Some mountains, in some mountains there are frozen rivers called as glaciers, and one more thing is, some mountains are also formed inside the sea, children. Okay. There are mountains that are formed inside the sea. Now, what do you mean by range? Range means mountains that are arranged in a lines, in a parallel lines are known as range. For example, you can see the Himalayas, the Alps and the Andes are the ranges of Europe, South America and Asia. Now, we will see there are three types of mountains. Okay. First one is fold mountain, then block mountain and third one is volcanic mountain. So, here in fold mountain also there is young, we can classify in two parts, that is young mountain and old mountains. So, what do you mean by fold mountain? Fold mountains are with rugged means rough. Okay. So, fold mountains means they are with rugged relief. So, what do you mean by relief? Relief means difference in the height or elevation. As we go up, there is a difference in the height or elevation between the earth's surface. So, fold mountains, they are with rough relief or rugged relief and they are high conical peaks. Means you can see the shape of the mountains like they are in conical shape. Okay. Their peaks are in conical shape. Like example, the Himalayas and the Alps are called as young fold mountains, while the Aravalli range is one of the oldest fold mountain in India. Okay. Now, you understood about fold mountain. Fold mountains are with rugged rough relief and they have high conical peaks. The Himalayas, Alps and are the examples of young fold mountains, and the Aravalli range is one of the oldest fold mountain. I will show you the picture. See children, this is the picture of fold mountain. You can see their shapes, okay. See this conical peaks, okay. So, fold mountains, they are in high, they are in conical peak, they have this conical peaks, and again they are with rugged relief, that is their heights are different, the heights or elevation between earth's surface. There is a difference, see the heights, okay, there is a difference in their heights from the earth's surface, and they have conical peaks. This is an example of fold mountain, that is the Himalaya, and they are arranged in parallels, okay, they are ranges, parallel lines. Now, second one is block mountains. Block mountains are created when large areas are broken and displaced vertically, okay. Sometimes the mountains, you can see there is a crack, okay, there is a crack on the mountain, and because of this crack, or they are broken and two parts, okay. Sometimes one part we can see it has been uplifted, and another part it is been lowered. So, this uplifted part or this uplifted blocks are called as host, and the lower blocks are called as graben, okay. And the Vosges and the Rhine valley in Europe are the examples of block mountain. We can see with this one picture I will show. See children, okay, this is a mountain, okay, just see this is a mountain. Here there is the mountain, it is broken, and this part it is uplifted, okay, it has gone up. So, this uplifted part is called as host, and the another in between this part, okay, this middle part it has lowered, it has come down. So, this part we will call as a graben. So, block mountains are created when large areas are broken and displaced vertically. The uplifted blocks are termed as host, and the lowered blocks are called as graben. The Rhine valley and the Vosges mountain in Europe are examples of such mountain systems, okay. So, we will show you the picture of Vosges mountain. Yeah, this is a picture of block mountain. This is the Vosges mountain in Europe, okay. You can see these mountains, some parts are uplifted while some have gone down, okay. There is a break, these mountains are broken, okay, there is a crack. So, this uplifted parts we can call as host, and this and the lower part we can call as graben. The Vosges and the Rhine valley in Europe are the examples of block mountain. Now, third one is volcanic mountain. You must be knowing volcano, okay. When the hot lava burns and it comes out of the mountain, it is called as volcanic mountain. So, volcanic mountains are formed by volcanic activities, okay. They are formed by deposition and solidification of lava. For example, here Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa and Mount Fujiyama in Japan are the examples of volcanic mountains, okay children. So, what are the two examples of volcanic mountains? That is Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa and Fujiyama in Japan are the examples of volcanic mountains. Here we can see the picture of volcanic mountain. See how this lava is going out, right. This is a volcanic mountain. We can see this hot lava, it is going out of this mountain. So, this is what we have now studied about three types of mountains: fold mountain, block mountain and volcanic mountain. Now, we will see the advantages of mountains. Okay. Why mountains are useful? Are mountains useful, children? Yes, they are useful. Why? Because they are the house of flora and fauna. Okay. We can find varieties of floras and faunas on these mountains. Again, these mountains, they are the storehouse of river. It means, it is a storehouse of water, means many rivers. Okay. The rivers, they flow from these mountains. So, we can call it as a storehouse of water. Even glaciers, these many rivers that flow, they have their source in the glaciers in these mountains. Okay. Then Reservoirs are made and water is stored for the use of the people. Again, the river valley and the terraces are ideal for cultivation. We can see the cultivations are done on mountains also. Okay. So, the river valleys and the terraces are ideal for cultivation. Again, these mountains, they are rich in flora and fauna, means varieties of animals and varieties of plants are found on the mountains. The forest, these forests, they provide us fuel, they provide us fodder, they provide shelter, gums, resins, etc. Okay. Then they provide idyllic site for tourists, means tourists are more attracted towards these hills and mountains. Again, many sports activities are people enjoy sports. Many sports activities are performed here like paragliding, hand gliding, river rafting and skiing are popular in the mountains. So, that is why mountains are very, very important, and these are the uses of mountains. Now, we will come to our next topic, that is plateaus. Okay. So, what do you mean by plateau? So, plateau, it is an elevated flat land, means a land which is flat, but it is just elevated, means it has been uplifted, it has been gone up. Okay. A plateau is an elevated flat land. It may have one or more sides with steep slopes. Okay. Then it is a flat table topped, or it is called as table land standing above the surrounding area. You can see a picture of plateaus. Okay. How is this looking, children? Does it look like a table top? It is looking like a table. Okay. So, this is what plateau. Okay. Plateaus, they are also called as table top, or plateau is an elevated flat land. Okay. This is a land. Okay. This is a flat land and little it is elevated. Okay. It has gone up. So, plateau is a elevated flat land. It may have one or more sides with steep slopes. You can see here slopes. Okay. We can see here slopes, one or more slopes we can see here. Okay. So, it is a flat table topped or table land standing above the surrounding area. Plateaus, they may be young or old. Like mountains, how old mountains we have seen, the mountains are young or old. In the same way, plateaus may be young or old. The Deccan Plateau of India is one of the oldest plateaus. So, which is the oldest plateau of India? Answer is Deccan Plateau, and the highest plateau in the world is Tibet Plateau. So, which is the highest plateau in the world? Tibet, and Tibet Plateau, this is the picture of plateau, I will show you again. Okay. Plateau, it looks like a table top and here it is flat. Okay. Then, sorry, the Tibet Plateau is the highest plateau in the world, and the Deccan Plateau of India, it is one of the oldest plateaus. So, you have seen what is plateau. Now, we will see what is the importance of these plateaus, or what are the advantages of plateaus. So, plateaus, they are rich in mineral deposits. Okay, children, as mountains they are rich in flora and fauna, plateaus are rich in mineral deposits. Like for example, the African plateau, it is famous for gold and diamond. Okay. African plateaus are famous for gold and diamond in the world. Again, the Chota Nagpur plateau in India, it is famous for minerals like coal, iron and manganese. Again, several waterfalls are found in India in these plateaus. Like for example, the Hundru falls in Chota Nagpur plateau and the Jog falls in Karnataka. These are famous waterfalls we can see in Chota Nagpur plateau and in Karnataka. Again, the lava plateaus are rich in black soil that are fertile and good for cultivation. Now, we will see, this was the importance of plateaus, as plateaus are rich in mineral deposits. Like example, African Plateau is good for is famous for gold and diamond, and Chota Nagpur Plateau is famous for coal, iron and manganese. Again, several waterfalls are found in India, that is Hundru waterfall in Chota Nagpur Plateau and Jog falls in Karnataka. Again, the lava plateaus, they are rich in black soil which has fertile soil, and that is good for the cultivation. Now, we will come to our next topic, plains. So, what do you mean by plains? What do you mean by plateaus? Plateaus are the flat land, but just they are elevated. Okay, plateaus are the elevated flatlands. Now, what are plains? So, plains are large stretches of land. Okay, large stretches of land. What are plains? They are the large stretches of land. They are of height not more than 200 meters above the sea level, means they are shorter than plateaus. Okay, they are not of height, they are of height not more than 200 meters above the sea level. Now, these plains, most of them are formed by the deposition of rivers. Now, how these plains are formed? Okay, so they are formed by the deposition of rivers and their tributaries. Okay, when the rivers flow, so when they are flowing, they bring many things from with them. The rivers carry the eroded materials with them while flowing from the mountains. Then they deposit their load consisting of stones, silt and sand, and it is from these deposits that plains are formed. So, how plains are formed? When the rivers they flow from the mountains, so these rivers they bring the materials, eroded materials like stone, silt, sand, and that materials they bring with them and they deposit it on the on this, and they deposit it then they deposit their load consisting of silt, sand and it is from these deposits that plains are formed. Now, they are very fertile and they have thick population. Okay. So, wherever plains are there we have thick population. Population is more on the plains because it is means we can live there. Okay, we can construct our houses, whereas on mountains it is not possible for construction of houses or transportation. So, they are the most useful regions for human habitation. The large flat areas are available for construction and cultivations. The construction of transport network is easy because of the plain surface. Okay, because of this plain surface, transport network is easy. Again, constructions, cultivations, everything becomes easy. So, there is much population on the plains compared to mountains or plateaus. This is the picture of children plain. Okay, it is a large land, flat land. Okay. Now, we have seen plains and the advantages of plains. Now, we will go to next topic, landforms and the people. Now, as we have seen, three types of landforms are there: mountains, plateaus and plains. So, we live on different kinds of landforms in different ways. Okay. Life in mountain region is much difficult than the plains, right children? Mountain, you must have gone to mountains or hill stations. Okay. Their life is difficult than the people who live on the plains. So, we can easily grow crops, we can build houses or road in the plains than on the mountains. Sometimes natural calamities like earthquake, volcanic eruption, storms and floods, they cause the destruction and huge loss of life and property. Okay. Sometimes there is too much rain, okay, and because of this too much rain, what happens? Flood occurs. Sometimes there are earthquakes, sometimes there are volcanic eruptions and storms, and because of this there is a huge loss of life and property. So, and these things can be reduced how? By creating awareness among the people. So, by creative awareness about such incidents may lower the risk of the life of the people. Usually, we use the land in a wasteful manner. Okay. we many times people they don't use the resources carefully, okay. They waste, even for water we can see we waste so much water. So, usually we use in the same way land also it is used in the wasteful manner. How? Like constructing houses on a fertile land. So, what happens if we construct house on a fertile land? Then the cultivation for crops, it is the place which we require for cultivating the crops, it is not that much cultivation of crops we can do on a fertile land, but construction of houses they don't require this fertile land, okay. So, again here the land becomes scarce for cultivating the crops. So, this is the wrong way, this is not the correct way, we are using the land in a wrong way by constructing houses on a fertile land. Again we are throwing the garbage on land and also in water, which makes them polluted, okay. Many of the we have seen that garbages are thrown in the water. So, what happens here? The water gets blocked, okay, it does not flow and the water also gets polluted. So, we should avoid such doing such things, okay, using such important gifts of nature in a careless manner. The land, it is not only for our use, but it is our duty to leave the earth a better place for future generation as well. Means children, as we are using the land now, it is our duty, okay, to save this land for our future generation also, so that they can enjoy the land or they too can enjoy the earth as we are doing. That is why this mission, okay, Swachh Bharat mission, it is a worldwide campaign initiated by the government of India in 2014 to eliminate open defecation and to improve the solid waste management. Healthy mind lives in a healthy body, and for a healthy body, clean environment, particularly clean air, water and hygienic surroundings are required. So, this mission aims to achieve all of this for the people, okay children. Now, your lesson gets over. Now, just we will see exercises of this lesson. Open your exercise. Yeah, tick the correct answer, okay. The mountains differ from hills in terms of elevation. Correct answer is elevation, mountains. Again, glaciers are found in mountains, plains or plateaus. What is the correct answer? Glaciers are found in the mountains. Third one, the Deccan Plateau is located in Kenya, Australia or India? Yes, India. The river Yangtze flows in China. Last one, an important mountain range of Europe is, what is the answer? Important mountain range is the Alps, okay. Second one, Alps, tick, put here correct. Next one, fill in the blanks, write the answers. A dash is an unbroken flat or low level land. So, what is an unbroken land? It is a plain, P-L-A-I-N, okay. Plain is an unbroken flat or low level land. Again, the Himalayas, the Alps are the examples of dash types of mountain. Which types they are? Yes, it is young fold types of mountains. Third one, the areas, dash areas are rich in mineral deposits. So, which areas are rich in mineral deposits? Plateaus. Again, dash is a line of mountains. So, what is called a line of mountain? Range, R-A-N-G-E. Last one, the dash areas are most productive for farming. So, here which areas are productive for farming? Again the answer is plain, okay, P-L-A-I-N. The plain areas are most productive for farming. So, children, yeah. So, hope you have understood the lesson very well with this with the images and the PPT. Go through this lesson children and solve the notes, and we will meet in the next session. Till then, see you, goodbye and thank you.